Alright guys, this is my first video. Please be kind. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the background that we did on this card. That was for the Friends of Unity Blog Hoppers February Monochromatic Challenge. I used a few different things here and I'm going to show you how to do the background. Everybody kind of knows how to make a card, but I thought it would be fun to show you how I did this background. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 Distress Oxide inks, and in this particular one I used Victorian Velvet, Worn Lipstick, and Festive Berries. The Victorian Velvet is actually kind of purpley. It did work for this one. If you don't want something as purpley, you can use the spun sugar, but the spun sugar is pretty light, so I went with the Victorian Velvet for this. You're going to need a blender brush. You're going to need Distress Micro Glaze, applicator. If you don't have an applicator, you can always use your finger, and a stencil. So let's get started. So what you're going to do first is put down your first layer of color, and that is going to be your lightest shade. So in this case it's the Victorian Velvet, and I'm just using a blender brush, and you're going to put down a bit of color. This does not have to be perfect, so you're not getting a real smooth blend here, you're just getting some color down. Using Bristol Smooth paper. I really love that paper. It's a little bit thicker. It takes the water really well, and it takes the ink really well. So that is pretty much my mixed media go-to paper. I did buy some of the Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and I do want to try that, but I have not had a chance to play with it. Lately I haven't had much time to play at all. It seems like I've been in a little bit of a funk. So there's your layer. As you can see, it's not perfect. There's white spots. Don't worry about that. That's all you need. I'm just going to clean up my space with a little bit of water. If you are like me and you try to be a little on the environmental side as much as I can, instead of using paper towels, I use one of these. It was 90 cents or $1 at Walmart. It's just a flour sack rag. Once it gets really gross, I throw it in the washer with some old towels, and I don't have to waste paper towels. So that's that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take a stencil. I'm just using one of the Tim Holtz stencils. This is THS099. It's the little X's, which I thought looked like kisses, so I thought it worked for the Valentine-y type theme. So what you're going to do is take your Distress Micro Glaze. I just use my finger, and you're going to put a little bit on the foamy part and rub it in. Go over to the side here and just rub it in. If you don't feel like you have enough, you can always add a little bit more. And then I'm gonna just scooch it over and do the other side. And I don't worry about lining it up perfectly. This is mixed media. It does not have to be perfect. So I just blend that glaze on the other side, and that's it. Now I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but what you're gonna see is you're gonna see these little goopy things around the outline. Don't worry about that. That'll buff out later. We're not really worried about that. So now I'm going to take my second to darkest color, which is the Worn Lipstick. I'm just going to smoosh out a little bit onto my media mat and add some water. Water gets things moving. And then I'm just going to dip it all over. Just real quick. I mean, you can see I'm not going, this is just quick and easy, guys. If you don't feel like you have enough, just squish out a little bit more. I'm going to put a tiny bit more out. A little bit of water, get it moving. Now you're going to notice, you're not going to see the X's real bold yet. I mean, you could see them a little bit in here. That's why you're going to get like three kind of different dimensions here with this. So then you're going to take your Festive Berry, which is your darkest shade, and this is when you're going to really see some contrast. It's a lot bolder. Now I go in a triangle. When doing anything like this, that triangle always seems to work for me. It kind of is pleasing to the eye, so I'm going to do the upper left-hand corner, kind of the middle of the right side, and then the bottom of the other side. And you can add more, you can add less. And that's it. You can add a little bit of water to get things moving. You can add more. I'm actually quite happy with that. So that's it. Then you're just going to dry it with your heat tool. And when it's dry, it's going to look something like this. Now, when you're dry, you might still see a little bit of those goopies. I just take a dry part of my cloth and I'll wipe it all off. It comes right off. If there's any of that left, just wipe it off. It's no big deal. And there you have it. That's your background. That took me just a couple minutes. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thanks for watching, guys.